Princess Anne's husband Timothy Laurence says the Princess Royal is fine after her hospital visit and her head injuries that she sustained that are thought to have been caused by a horse. Indeed, Vice Admiral Sir Timothy Laurence visited Princess Anne, who is 73, at Southmead Hospital in Bristol for 2 hours on Tuesday. As he left the main entrance of Southmead Hospital at about 2 p.m, he said to reporters and people gathered outside, quote, "She's doing fine, slow but sure." So it seems that by this messaging, Princess Anne's recovery is kind of steady, she's doing well, and she is kind of getting there day by day. It's the second day in hospital for the princess after she went in on Sunday following an accident on her Gloucestershire estate, and asked if he'd taken anything for the princess. Sir Tim said, "Just a few little treats from home." So nice to see that he is keeping good care of Princess Anne, and I'm sure she is receiving amazing care at the hospital itself as well. The princess is expected to make a full recovery as per the Buckingham Palace statement, but she unfortunately had to miss the state banquet with the Emperor and Empress of Japan today, who are visiting for a 3-day state visit, and King Charles is hosting them, and her trip to Canada that she was meant to be going on in the later stages of this week will unfortunately now be postponed. The king has already sent his fondest love and well wishes to the princess, quote, "for a speedy recovery," while the Prime Minister and Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer have also sent their best wishes as well. The Princess Royal was injured on Sunday evening when she was out walking on her estate and there were horses nearby. It is understood that the princess has not been able to actually recall the details of what happened on Sunday evening due to her concussion, which does make me a little bit worried that she has lost some sort of memory here, but of course the concussion has knocked that all out of place, unfortunately, so hopefully she'll make a full recovery on that front, which is slightly concerning. But her medical team did suggest that her head injury is consistent with the type of impact from a horse's legs or head, so it's possible that a horse bolted in front of her and ran into her and she was knocked to the ground, or maybe it headbutted her or something like that. She went to pet one of the horses and it gave her a headbutt, possibly something along those lines, where she was impacted in the head by a horse's head or legs, according to the medical team. Emergency services were called to the estate and the princess was taken into hospital that same evening. Her husband, Timothy Laurence, her daughter Zara and her son Peter were all on the estate at the time, and Timothy Laurence then travelled with her to hospital when she had the incident. The princess is now conscious and is expected to stay in hospital until later this week, quote, "as a precautionary measure for observation," according to the Buckingham Palace statement yesterday on Monday. Southmead in Bristol, the hospital, is an NHS hospital and it is part of the North Bristol NHS Trust, and it has a number of major specialties including neuroscience, so all to do with the brain and neurons, etc, etc. A Buckingham Palace spokesperson said, quote, "Her Royal Highness is recovering well, is in a comfortable condition and is being kept in hospital as a precautionary measure for further observation." The spokesperson added, quote, "On doctor's advice, Her Royal Highness's engagements for the week ahead will be postponed. Her Royal Highness sends her apologies to any who may be inconvenienced or disappointed as a result." According to the NHS, this concussion can be the result of a temporary injury to the brain caused by a bump, a blow, or a jolt, and it can cause forgetfulness, tiredness, and a lack of concentration, and can take a couple of weeks before a full recovery. So Princess Anne, it is seemingly she's having a slow but steady recovery. It might take her a couple of weeks to get back to normal because of this concussion, and she has of course lost that little bit of memory of the incident itself. But of course Princess Anne is also the most hard-working royal, as I'm sure I'll come on to mention in a minute, of the royal family. She goes on the most engagements and the most royal visits and things like that. She is very hard-working, so I'm sure she will want to be back to work as soon as possible. This week she had a series of events planned, including the Japanese state visit, as well as other engagements scheduled in Scotland, Hampshire and Gloucestershire, so she gets all about the place. She's an amazing underrated royal, but of course her hospitalisation now is the latest problem facing the royal family. However, after such a difficult year for the royal family, and I don't quite know how it's nearly July, we had Catherine undergoing surgery right at the beginning of the year, then we had King Charles undergoing surgery for a prostate enlargement, and then that they detected his cancer, and then Catherine came out and said she had cancer, and the Duchess of York said that her cancer had returned as well, and now Princess Anne is in hospital as well. But after such a difficult year, it does seem to now be turning a corner. Princess Anne is making a slow but steady recovery. King Charles is responding really well to his treatment, and he's returning to royal duties. We saw him at the Trooping the Colour ceremony looking really well, and he rode in the carriage with Queen Camilla, observing the parades from there. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, also rode in her own carriage with her children at Trooping the Colour as well, her first return to royal duties and her first proper official public appearance since Christmas. So it's been a lot of time since we've seen Catherine at an official public appearance, an official royal engagement. Of course, we've seen leaks coming out of her driving around her estate or visiting her local farm shop and things like that, but in terms of official royal events, the Trooping the Colour ceremony was Catherine's big return, and it was lovely to see her as well. She said that she's turning a corner as well, but she was not out of the woods yet, so she is still undergoing some cancer treatment for the next couple of months and will not be returning to full public engagements just yet, but she does really want to, and she said she might appear in some engagements over the summer, but they will have to wait and see on the advice of her medical team, etc, etc. So it is nice that everyone's kind of turning this corner now, and in the second half of the year I think we'll get some more good news about returns to royal duties for Catherine, and indeed now for Princess Anne in the next coming couple of weeks. She will be right and ready to go back into her royal duties, I'm sure. She definitely has her mother's spirit. She really is one of the most hardworking royals. So that is positive news that we can look forward to. But of course, I've just bringing you the latest updates today on Princess Anne, with her husband visiting her and saying that she is doing well, but kind of recovering slowly, and she is in a comfortable condition, but being kept in hospital as this precautionary measure just in case anything else occurs. Meanwhile, of course, the Japanese Emperor and Empress have begun this 3-day state visit. King Charles looking very well, Prince William taking a major role in this as well to greet them, and King Charles and Queen Camilla stood with the Japanese royals and had lots of nice engagements today, and then the banquet this evening. They had this ceremonial welcome and a carriage ride up the Mall, and then of course the state banquet as well. However, due to the general election campaign, the Emperor and Empress will not be making a trip to Downing Street. But yes, just wanted to bring you this update today on Princess Anne, that she is doing well, she's turning this corner and she is slowly recovering, as well as a little bit of more positive news as we kind of swing into the second half of the year and hopefully see some more royal engagements from King Charles as he returns after some positive news about his cancer recovery, and then the Princess of Wales as well will be coming back in the second half of the year, I'm sure. We will see more of her soon. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Join my Patreon, join the membership channel if you like to, but just you watching is amazing. Thank you so much for making it this far, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.